Welcome back to another Recon. We're in Neokyo. This one is for the Neon Flats. We've got 2 laps to do, so that's 29.7 kilometers of elevation. 8 intermediate sprint section on this one, so it's going to be fast and furious, just 144 meters of elevation. Let's dive straight in to this week's Recon. So indeed, we are in Neokyo and it is the Neon Flats course, and we've got 8 intermediate sprint segments to go through. But before we get on to that, we're halfway through the season. After this one, there's only 1 team time trial left to do, and of course that final round in Scotland. And I've got some good news coming up at the end because I've got a Recon planned, so we're going to be able to get onto this course and most importantly, get one of these Recons done before February the 14th, that beautiful Valentine's Day, where we're going to be racing on those new roads of Scotland. But today, it's all about this Neon Flat. So we're going to go through the course, we're going to go through the sprint segments, we're of course going to go through bike choice and of course those power-ups. But if you want access to these Recon notes here, don't forget you can access all the videos and all the Recon notes over on levelvelo.cc, our indoor clothing brand, but also there are some community pages there where you'll find links and access to all those Recon notes and all those videos, so why not go and check that out, and also check some of the awesome kit out there. We've got this jumper available as well, this hoodie, so why not go and check that out over on levelvelo.cc. Let's take a look first of all at bike choice because it's really straightforward for this course. Go for the most aero setup you can for this course, available at your level. Go and check out Zwift Insider. There's a link down below to the Zwift Insider pages, and find the most aero frame and the most aero wheels you've got available at your level. As I've said, it is pretty darn flat, this course, just 144 meters of elevation. A few little rollers, not that I want to upset Bam Bam and those herd of penguins, of course, but they are just very small rollers, not too much to worry about there. All right, so in terms of power-ups, we've got 3 to choose from, as almost always. We almost always have 3, don't we? Yeah, so we've got 3 this time. We've got the aero power-up again, which will be really useful here with the 8 intermediate sprint segments that we've got, and then of course that finish line sprint as well to take those finish line points. Then we've got the draft van, really versatile, one of my favorite power-ups, this one. 30 seconds, really useful for again charging through that pack and again picking up the sprint, or maybe recovering after a segment as well, because these sprint segments are going to come thick and fast on this one. Then we've got the ghost power, which is useful, but it's all about effective timing on these segments, and again utilizing it on some of the shorter sprint segments where there is a little bit of a false flat or a descent could be really useful. Just timing it rightly as you pop off the front of that group and maximize those points on those segments. Just before we get on course, if you don't mind, if you're enjoying this content, why not go down and give the video a quick thumbs up? Maybe leave a cheeky little comment down below, or just an emoji. Engagement always helps with the channel. And why not, if you haven't already, and I don't understand why you wouldn't, of course, why not subscribe to the channel? Just click that subscribe button and we can keep you up to date with all the latest videos and Recons we've got coming, including the not so secret Scotland Recon, which has happened, guys, and it's on its way. That Recon will happen, so don't forget, subscribe, like, give it a thumbs up. Let's get on course and take a look. So indeed, we're in Neokyo. We're sat in the pens here. We're going to leave the pens, take a right, and then around about 200 meters you are going to go through this virtual start finish line, and this is where we'll finish the race in 2 laps time in 29.7 kilometers. So we're going to roll through there onto the flat roads in the neon lit city, and then we're going to start to head towards this first intermediate segment, this sprint segment, which is the tower sprint for this first time of asking it. Now on the Recon notes you will find that I've put the start and the finish distance markers for each particular segment for both laps there also, and you'll see that I've marked each one for first across the line, fastest through segment, and the segment battle point. So indeed we're going to head towards this first sprint, which is the tower sprint. Fast, not too long this one, but long enough to certainly test the legs at just over 300 meters. This is going to start at 2.3 kilometer mark on this first lap, and it finishes at 2.6 just at the foot of the tower here. So we're going to roll through this twice so you can take a look in a little bit more detail. Another thing to remember here, in each segment today, you are going to pick a power up. So make sure you utilize those power ups every single time to maximize your chances of picking up points, because points all the way down the group are going to be relevant. All right, so immediately after the tower sprint, you've got 3 kilometers now with fairly flat roads, as I've said, before we head on to the next sprint, which is the alley sprint reverse. So the recovery in between this one, or the downtime in between this one, is a little bit longer than the rest at 3 kilometers. So we're gonna hit the alley sprint next at kilometer 5.6. Couple of things just to highlight here on the alley sprint reverse. There is about 200 meters before the start of this sprint. It does just pick up a little bit on the road. So it does pitch up to about 4% there again. So just watch your positioning, watch this little drag before you get into the sprint. Okay, the alley sprint is also quite long at 480 meters, but the first couple of 100 meters of this particular segment are slightly descending, -1, -2% in places there. So the pace will be high. And again, it's all about timing and position as the road flattens off towards the finishing banner just here. All right, so after the alley sprint reverse, you've just got 1.5 kilometers here until we head into the park, and we're gonna take on this Castle Park sprint for the first time. We're doing this particular sprint twice, back to back on each lap. So the first time you're going to hit this sprint is kilometer 7.5. Fairly short, this one just for 300 meters. So we're going to finish at 7.7. Remember, you're going to pick up power up each time, so utilize it on this sprint. This one is fairly fast. It's a little bit shorter than the other sprints. So again, it's all about timing as you wind and zigzag through the park. All right, so after this first Castle Park sprint, you've got 3.5 kilometers approximately before we're back here and doing this sprint for the second time on the first lap. So this time, you're gonna hit this sprint 11.4 kilometers, finishing at 11.6. Again, remember, FAL again on this segment, segmental battle points again on this segment, but the fastest through segment you can only pick up once for the whole race, but you can pick it up multiple times. All right, so after that sprint, or that second time of Castle Park sprint, we're then gonna loop around Neokyo and head towards that start-finish banner to start lap 2. Now, lap 2 is gonna start at kilometer 14.9. That's when you're gonna go through this virtual banner and do it all again for just one more time before we take on those finish line points. So that's tower sprint, alley sprint reverse, Castle Park sprint for the third time of asking, and Castle Park sprint for the fourth time of asking, FAL, FTS, segmental battle points, before we take on this finish line. And let's take a look at this finish line in a little bit more detail. All right, so let's look at this finishing sprint here. As we approach the arcade, you've got about 800 to 900 meters to go. Now, it is tight and twisty turns all the way through the arcade, and we know this can cause some separation. So again, think about positioning yourself not on the front, but towards the front of the group here, just getting some draft, watching for those moves, because again, maybe some people will decide to make a move early on in through the arcade here, so just watch out for those orange numbers. When we come outside of the arcade, you've got about 400 meters to go to then finish, and again, you'll have the countdown distance marker at the front to guide you so you know when to sprint. But watch out for those early moves, watch out for those early numbers. Thankfully, I had quite a good race here and managed to take the win, so you've got some decent footage to look at this time, which I'm gonna play through twice. So that's it, that's the course. This finishing sprint is all about timing, utilizing your strength, whether that be 30 seconds, 15 seconds, or even a minute sprint, whatever your strength is. And obviously absolutely quality timing on that power up as well. So don't forget to go and recon this course. If you haven't already, why not subscribe to the channel? Give the video a thumbs up, maybe leave a cheeky comment below, and that way you can stay up to date with all the latest videos and recons we've got coming up, including a new recon that we've got coming up on the top secret Scotland course. Yes, guys, we've made it happen. The recon is on its way for that course, so don't forget. In fact, you can come and ride that course with me. You could be one of the first to ride that particular route with me early in February as well, and I've got some news coming up on that particular one. All right, guys, have a great week's training, enjoy the racing, and I'll see you soon in Neokyo. Ride on.